A bunch of players get sucked into a massively multiplayer online RPG that they cannot escape from. Where have I heard that before? A girl gets trapped in a world that she cannot escape from, and she will not die no matter how many times she is killed. Where have I heard that one before? A few months ago, when I reviewed Log Horizon, a bunch of you came forward and told me that there is a better show with the same premise called Log Horizon. Well, I took a look into it, and I thought it would be worth watching for at least two reasons. First of all, it's written by the same author who wrote Mao Yu, the Demon King and Hero, which had some great ideas that unfortunately never gelled into a proper story. Final grade single tilde. I was hoping that this time around we'd see some of his great ideas translate into anime form a little better. Second reason I wanted to watch this is because there's a character who looks exactly like Rika. I mean, how could I not watch this? So I picked it up, and the first thing I noticed is that they could have called this show Debauchery Tea Party. That is such a badass name. But no, instead they went with Log Horizon, and for anyone who judges anime by their titles, like I do, that's definitely a minus. On the bright side, that's the biggest criticism I have of the show. Everything else is either average, very good, or downright great. There's a lot of comedy on this show, which is often very cheesy, but still quite enjoyable. The cast is very large, but also very well managed. You get an appropriate dose of pretty much every character you come across. You don't find yourself wishing you saw some characters more, or for that matter, wishing you saw some characters less. At least for the most part. But the most important part of any story is the plot, and Log Horizon is quite solid in this regard. The main character is a brilliant strategist, and strategery type anime usually turn me on. The show really gets into the nitty-gritty of the RPG world and the rules it does and doesn't have, therefore allowing the characters to sort of hack the system as much as possible to do all kinds of crazy things. There's really no way I can talk about this without spoilers, so I won't. Now, I've never played an MMORPG before, so there were a lot of things they were getting into that I didn't quite understand, and in fact, in many cases, I just had to buy into whatever they were doing and not really think about it. It can still be pretty interesting, but your mileage may vary. Another cool thing about this show is the opening theme, which shows us that Japanese rappers can actually rhyme if they really try to. I also gotta mention that Log Horizon has one of the best lazy characters I have seen in years. So we have a show that's clever, funny, interesting, and has a solid cast of characters. Where does it fall short? Well, the biggest problem with the show, aside from it not being called Debauchery Tea Party, is that it's not all that exciting. Death in this game means very little. If you die, you just get revived. Yes, there are some consequences of dying that you learn about later on, but all things considered, it's not the end of the world. The main characters are overpowered in terms of both brains and brawn. Of course they face conflict throughout the show, but there's never any doubt they're going to overcome it. This kept the show from ever becoming addicting, though I did enjoy it from episode to episode. A final negative would be the graphics and animation. Now these things don't usually matter much to me, but if you place a lot of stock in them, you're probably going to be disappointed. Through one season, I'm giving Log Horizon a single plus. However, it ended on a very strong note, and I could definitely see the second season bringing it up. At the end of the day, I do like Log Horizon better than Sword Art Online, but not by all that much, and the appeal is different. I like each show for a different reason. As far as the second season goes, I think that Log Horizon is something to be more hyped up about than Sword Art Online, simply because Sword Art Online has already told a complete story, if not two by now, and Log Horizon still has a lot of questions to answer. Well, that's all for this episode. Stay tuned next time. I may have a special announcement to make.